Chiefs fans, they've been mad at me for 2 years in a row now because I've been calling for the demise of the Chiefs for years, and they just keep making it back to the Super Bowl.
As you know, the NFL is back. So excited myself. I know we've only had 1 week of it, but who's really impressed you so far from what you've seen?
Wow, what a great week one. So much fun to have football back. And I mean, the first thing when you said that going to the Bills-Ravens game, my goodness, like I don't know that we could have had a better game to feature the NFL and the quarterbacks and how healthy the game is right now. But I love Baltimore this year, and I love Buffalo as well. It was fun to see that one go down to the wire.
I want to talk about the Chiefs here. They didn't look the best against the Chargers, and they're the only team in the AFC West that did lose in week one. I know it's very early, but do you still trust Andy Reid and Mahomes to get this team to the postseason again?
They've got a decent track record, yes. Chiefs fans, they've been mad at me for 2 years in a row now because I've been calling for the demise of the Chiefs for years, and they just keep making it back to the Super Bowl. So I don't know what to say on the Chiefs. I've been wrong for 2 years now. They find it hard to bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They really unfortunate right away that Worthy goes down with the injury, and they'll have to work through some things there. But I did love to see Patrick Mahomes putting the ball in the air deep a little bit more in that first game than he did last year.
Yeah. Speaking of another team that looks a little rough, the Dolphins. Yikes. Worried seems to be the best way to describe what's going on in Miami, and I would love your honest take here. Do you think Mike McDaniels can fix this?
Yeah, it was a tough opener, and I think the big thing is not to overreact. I think everybody tends to, put a lot into week one. Let's give them a few weeks. Let's see. The problem is they've got a tough opening schedule here. Everybody thought, the Colts weren't going to be a great team this year. I think the Colts are going to be a lot better than people think. And now they're going up against New England, and then they're going and playing the Bills, which will be our game, which I'm excited about. But the funny thing about the Dolphins, this is a home game for them. And if you've ever seen their stadium and the way that the sun hits the stadium at 1 p.m. on Sunday, they will be shaded when the game begins. And I promise you they'll be wearing white jerseys. So the Patriots will have to wear dark jerseys and be in the sun the whole game. So that'll be a huge advantage for them. I'm expecting some up-tempo. I'm expecting Tua to come out and play a lot better. But this is a big week. This is a big week for Miami because everybody's out right now to get them. The fans are not very excited.
You mentioned the Bills, and I don't think another team's on a bigger high than the Bills. What a huge win against Baltimore. Do you feel like it's at all the Josh Allen show, or are you worried that he might need a little bit more of a support system? You feeling good with them?
No, I mean, he won the MVP last year for a reason. He's a great player. He's a great teammate. He's a great leader for that team. I will say that it looked for a lot of the game, Baltimore had an easier time going up and down the field. And, Buffalo, especially at the end, had to rely on some of those heroics from Josh. But that's who they are, That's right. Who they are. They're a great team. They spread the ball around. You're going to have different playmakers stepping up. And so I think the concern right now as a Bills fan is, gosh, our defense kind of got run through by Lamar and Derrick Henry. Can we fix that? And it'll be a good week to try to shore that up a little bit this week. But Josh is an amazing player. And the reason you pay those guys the big bucks is because they have to come through for you in those big situations and games. And he's proven it over and over again.
Right. Well, I would love to end on some fun ones here with you. If you could go back and relive one NFL Sunday from your career, which one would it be and why?
Ooh, I'll tell you, the opener in 2018 when I was with Tampa and we played the Saints in New Orleans. It was just, I was starting because Jameis Winston was suspended. Everything went right in the game. We scored 40-plus points. There was 5 touchdowns. I mean, it was just one of those games where nothing could go wrong. And every time we called a play, it worked exactly like it was supposed to. And Mike Evans was wide open, and Deshaun Jackson was wide open. And just a really cool start to the season.
I love that. You said TV or being on TV is fun because you get to be yourself. And I love how you mentioned Chiefs fans not being too happy with you. But what's one take that you've given on air that fans really came after you for where you're like, oh, okay, I'll chill out for that one?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I mean, talking about the Chiefs and their downfall, and I've been wrong about it, of course. Justin Herbert not being a top 5 quarterback was always one that people are up and about. But that's I want to give you my honest opinion, and there's a lot of people that can agree with me and a lot of people that don't, but there's a certain way that I see the game, and that's what I'm there for, to provide an opinion and a perspective of a guy that's been around the league for a long time. So I've really enjoyed it, and I really enjoy the people that I get to work with every Thursday night.
Yeah. Last one for you here. We saw last week in a very interesting approach to the YouTube broadcast. They had influencers and streamers on the sideline kind of doing their own pregame show. Do you think that things like this are a great way to bring in new fans? Do you feel like it's a little gimmicky? Like this is our thing? How do you feel about it?
I think we have to be careful. I think we have to be careful with that because you don't want to alienate the fans or have the fans that have been lifers turn on you. There's a certain professionalism that needs to be brought to a broadcast. And the more of that you do when you incorporate it into a real broadcast, I don't like that part of it. If you want to do alt streams, you want other people to tune in on the side on a different channel or a different stream, and you're going to try to draw on fans that way. But the more that makes it into the main broadcast, I think the more you're going to alienate the true diehards, and I don't like that part about it.